momentarily. Stay tuned, folks. Well, at this time, I want to welcome you officially to Focus on Liberia to our program, The Hour of Politics, with me, Anthony Sie, your host. We are broadcasting from our headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome to the broadcast. We have a guest comfortably seated in studio. This is the gentleman. He told me I'm ready to answer the tough questions. I don't think you have tough questions. Hey, I think I got some. Well, at this time, let me welcome the chairman of Unity Party USA and Canada, Mr. Dwanyen. Welcome to Focus on Liberia, to the Hour of Politics. My pleasure having you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sia. Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity to be here today with you and your listeners.
All right, we are happy to have you. That is the chairman of Unity Party USA and Canada. That is the branch of the opposition Unity Party, then former ruling Unity Party. For our discussion today, our topic is Joseph Boakai, the Unity Party, the CPP, and the road to 2023. You remember when Boakai said he's the only one to take Joshua down? We will find out today. For segment of the discussion, we'll look at the candidacy of Joseph Boakai. Also, we will look at Unity Party as the former ruling party. And of course, last but not least, the opposition CPP and 2023 ticket. Will Joseph Boakai, will the Unity Party be on top of the ticket? They told me they have the experience, they have the scars to prove it. But what kind of scars are they talking about? Hey, let me not bore you. Let's get started. Let me again welcome the chairman, honorable chairman, Mr. Dwanyen. Welcome again. Anything that you want our listeners to know about you that they don't know? I know you're the chairman of USA and Canada. But besides that, any other thing that you wish to share with our audience so that they can get to know you a little more?
Well, thank you very much again for having me here today. What people should know and my friends know is that I have a lifetime passion of advocating for democracy, human rights, freedom of speech, good governance in Liberia. I have a long history of service in every community that I have lived in, exercising leadership. I had the honor and privilege to lead the Unity Party, USA and Canada, as we look at how do we incorporate diaspora Liberians to channel their energies, to be a part of the body politic in Liberia, to support the march towards democracy, the rule of law, good governance, accountability, and transparency. And it's my pleasure to be here. Is a labor of love. It is a passion that I share, and that leads me directly to the point of the level of respect, admiration, and dedication to the visions that our standard bearer has for our country. He's demonstrated those by his character and competence over the years, and I look forward to expounding more upon it, why we believe he is the one to put Liberia on the road to progress, sustainability. He is the one to clean up the issues of corruption, the issues of lack of rule of law, the issues of improving the education system, of developing the economy, expanding the economy, expanding agriculture, building roads. So we're glad to be able to have this conversation with you today. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Let's get started here quickly. And he is talking about Joseph Boakai, former vice president of the Republic of Liberia. We have something on the screen there for you that looks like a campaign placard, and they are talking. This is what they say. Liberia deserves an experienced and trusted leader that can provide credible leadership with guided wisdom. And further below, they say a message from the trusted and prepared Unity Party. How prepared are they? How trusted are they? Does the gentleman, Honorable Boakai, have this wisdom they're talking about, we will find out. Let's get to it quickly. Our first segment here is the candidacy of Jose Boakai, and this is my first question for Mr. Dwyen here. My first question: what is Mr. or Honorable Jose Boakai running on?
Thank you very much, Anthony. Mr. Honorable Boyka is running on the platform of Think Liberia, Love Liberia, Build Liberia. What does that mean? If you think about Liberia, it means everything you do, every fiber of your being. It's not about Kerper. It's not about Anthony C, but about Liberia. How does this impact Liberia? Not the 43,000 square miles, but the 5 million people that live in this country, the children, the future, the old people, their health care. That's what Think Liberia means. Okay? Love Liberia means exactly that. Don't love yourself more than Liberia. If you love yourself to the extent you go and engage in corruption to buy a $75,000 car and put it on the road that cannot sustain that car, and you see people getting stuck in mud, but you are engaging in corruption so that you can ride in a big car, do you love Liberia? Do you love Liberia? And last, build Liberia means first, as you said, roads, second, roads, third, roads. The Liberian people do not need somebody to go to their villages and put money in their pockets. But when they grow their food, it needs to get to the market. If the truck driver is breaking down on the highway constantly because of bad roads, guess what? That cost is passed on to the consumers. It is passed on to the people who are shipping the goods. I've been in Nyumah where market day, you see mountain load of planting that people bring from all villages or motorcycles. And then the road gets cut because of the rain. And
Mr.
planting
Dwyen,
is
Mr.
very bad.
Dwyen, you go
Excuse
ahead.
me, please. Planting is a very perishable fruit, and it gets rotten, and it gets rotten. So all of that is a loss. So that's what build Liberia means. Thank you.
Mr. Dwyen, the United Party should be the last person talking about love Liberia, think Liberia, and build Liberia. And the reason is you have 12 years, and here you are talking about roads. You have 12 years to build those roads, and you did not. Why should Liberian people trust you this time?
Thank you very much. I think when you put that issue into perspective with a clear, honest picture, you will realize that when Unity Party came into office in 2006, the economy was in shambles. The national budget was $100 million. Every single street in the capital city of Monrovia was full of potholes from there to Roberts Field and to Buchanan and to Nyumah. After the 12 years, after structuring the economy, after winning the confidence of the international financial system, you see the road got paved all over the place in Monrovia to Buchanan to Nyumah, and road projects were in the making. It is
Did you
easy
say
to
the
pave.
roads got paved all over the place? What is your
I said
definition of
I
all over
listed
the
where
place?
they got paved, my brother. I listed where they got paved. Okay, for the past 12 years prior to that, nothing got paved in Liberia. What has been the new road that has been negotiated and paved since this? So let's put things into perspective. Unity Party took over a broken country, put it on a path to recovery, and you don't act like no single road was built. Everything is relative. You can argue that more could be done. I will definitely give you the opportunity to hold that view. But for you to say nothing was done is disingenuous. And what we are saying here is the opportunity exists for the Liberian people to see more development, having been on the platform that has been established, and this is the issue. Thank you.
Mr. Dwanyen, during the 12 years of Unity Party, Liberia did not become a middle income country. Unlike Unity Party and Joseph Yamang Boakai and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the president of Tanzania, may his soul rest in peace, John Magufuli took over Tanzania. In less than 12 years, he turned his country into a middle income country. You have 12. He did not rule for 12 years. Did you do a good job?
Thank you very much. I want you to understand the position of vice president in a constitutional republic, the duties and responsibilities of that vice president as you attempt to hold people responsible for what was done, what was not done. Let me be clear to you. The vice president in a constitutional republic has three jobs. One, cast a vote in the Senate to break a tie. Second, carry out missions that the president allows you to do or assigns to you. Third, you wait for when the president dies, you take over. Vice president does not appoint ministers. They don't approve budgets. They don't establish priority. They are there as an advisor to the head of state, to the president, and the president has every prerogative to accept the advice or not. But one thing that is instructive in this is that, as you said earlier, VP Boakai stood by his president for 12 years, took the blame unfairly for things that were not done properly. When it came her time to stand by him, we all know what she did. She went to the opposition. That should have any reasonable observer to think why. It is a clear indication that there was disagreement between the two of them as to key major issues, to the point that she felt that she was not going to support him. Now we see the result of the party she put into power. We see the inflation. We see the lawlessness. We see the halt in development. And this is why we are saying to the Liberian people, this is your best choice. And the Liberian people themselves are saying today, if we had known.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Let's come to the issue you just raised. This is Omen Boakai. My understanding is that even they got to know when they were in the College of West Africa, and correct me if I'm wrong on that. And so to have seen Ellen Johnson Sirleaf not supporting Omen Boakai in 2017, someone might think that there is something fundamentally wrong about Boakai, for which Ellen chose not to support him even to today. So, what is about Joseph Yamang Boakai that Ellen knows, that no one knows, for which she is not supporting the man who served her loyally? It is telling. Don't you find it that way?
Well, with all due respect, that is a
Mhm.
question that you need to ask Madam Sirleaf, but you cannot at the same time tie Vice President Boakai to your perceived or actual failures or disappointments with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. You cannot do that and then in the same vein come back and say, well, she didn't support him, there's a difference. So you draw your own conclusion. If you have that question about what that issue is, the appropriate person to ask is Madam Sirleaf, but she felt that in 2005, she felt that he was the one who could help her become president, who could help her and be her vice president. And you know, there are some people, sometimes they only want you when you can help them, and when it's time to come to help you for one reason or their own reason, they go their own way.
You said something that I agree with, that Ellen made a decision to support openly now President we are, then Kennedy we are, instead of Honorable Boakai, who stood by her for 12 years. And we see the results now. Things are not pretty in the country. I can say that any day. So anyone would think that she will realize that she did not make a good decision. But she is at it again. And from what we see, the pictures that we see, not going Honorable Boakai's way. There she is again, this time meeting with officials of the opposition Liberty Party. My question is there a beef that you leaders in the Unity Party have with Ellen or that Ellen has with you people for which she is turning her back consistently on her party that helped us to rule for 12 years?
Well, again, with regards to the issue of beef, I will continue to refer you to Madam Salif herself.
Mhm.
But we are observers, we are Liberians, we are citizens, and we see what she has been doing, we see the results. And in the end, I believe the Liberian people will reject that because it is their livelihood we're talking about, it is their families we're talking about. Somebody that is being seen to continuously play these games that create havoc for the country, create hardship for the people. The Liberian people have seen through this, and this is what we know that they are saying today that if we had known, if we had known, I mean, the choice to take someone who was described as a Bobo senator didn't function well in the Senate. We all know that he was called Bobo senator all the time. To take him and create machinations that he would take over the state. This is her choice. This is her legacy, and the Liberian people see through it. That's all I can tell you. But as to beef, you got to go back to her.
Mr. Dwyer, are you comfortable with this labeling of individuals? Is that something you feel comfortable doing? Calling now President we are to have been the Bobo senator then?
Excuse me, I did not call him the Senate Bobo senator. I said it was openly called. He was openly called a Bobo senator. I am reflecting on public statements that were made in the media. I'm reflecting on public statements that were made by Liberians in their communities all over. You didn't hear this the first time from me. What I'm saying is somebody who did not perform well as a senator. A senator is someone who speaks on behalf of their constituents. And when people, your colleagues, the media, the public, they are calling you Bobo Senator, it means while you were there, you didn't speak. So I'm not making this word.
Uh, Honorable Boakai said, and I quote, I was a race car parked. Do you believe he was actually parked for 12 years?
A vice president is always parked. I just shared with you, vice president does not appoint even the messenger in the office. Okay? They have control to appoint their own staff. Beyond that, everything is the prerogative of the president. The president appoints all of the cabinet ministers. The budgets are submitted to the president. The president is the chief executive that controls the executive branch of government, and they have that full authority over the government. We saw in Liberia, for those of us who are old enough to remember, William Howard Tubman served as a vice president to Tubman for 19 years. When he became president, the country clearly saw two different visions, two different approaches, two different methods, two different personalities. So a vice president that tries to overrule the president is only a prescription for chaos. It's not done anywhere. When you accept that position, you accept it in the service of the Constitution to occupy a constitutional role, to be supportive of the president. And you cannot be going out there and trying to overrule the president and speak out against the president. It's a prescription for chaos. Nobody does it. Thank you.
Honorable Boakai is clear he's running. I know you said he's running on roles. Think Liberia, build Liberia, love Liberia. Where can I go to look up this platform? Anywhere that I can find this document for me to read as a Liberian, as a man in the media, so I can direct citizens to read about his plan. Anywhere that I can go to find that.
Well, when he ran in 2017, the United Party had a platform was made very public and is there. For 2023, we are in a collaboration.
Mhm.
What we do will be as a collaborative, and you will see the results of that.
All right. Welcome to Unity Party as the former ruling party then. This is my question. Is it an asset or liability for being a former ruling party for 12 years?
I believe it's an asset because there is a track record. Based on that track record, there's also the disposition of the 2017 scenario between the former president and her vice president. What does that tell the informed, objective, patriotic observer? It's a clear message that those things that people raise issue with, those things that people have concern about, maybe that's the elephant in the room. But as mature political leaders operating for 12 years, they're not going to come out in the street and wash their dirty clothes for you to see. So the Unity Party, 12 years government could have done better. To deny that will say that they did 100% of what should have been done, and nobody is perfect. No institution is perfect. Were there failings? Yes. But there is a lot of achievement that was done. There's a lot to point to that they came and we took the country from point A to point B, which we are proud of. We could have gotten to B+1, B+2, but the fact is we moved from A to B, and that was a lot of achievement in different categories of roads, hospitals, schools, salaries, paying salaries on time, regularizing the banking system, structuring the banking system, the rule of law, restoring the police, the army, restoring the country's image abroad. There was a lot that was done. We now have a president who seems to be isolated in the larger international community, that is not able to go out to advocate for our needs as existed during the 12 years of Unity Party leadership.
Mr. Dwanyen, you consider your record as an asset. But in the words of the former president, who represented the Unity Party as a standing bearer and then president of Liberia, the educational system became a mess. She continued. She went on to say, though corruption was declared enemy number one, it became a vampire. That does not sound like somebody blowing the trumpet of an asset. I would call those liability. The education system falling flat in your hands and becoming mess, and your failure to win the war on corruption, and it became a vampire. Those are liabilities. Do you agree or disagree?
Every situation you go into in this world will have assets on the one hand, liabilities on the other. There's no situation where it will be exclusively assets, exclusively liabilities. So you have to look at it from the context of balance. And let me correct you. Madam Salib never said the education system has become a mess. The education system that was inherited in 2005 was greatly improved upon during the years of the Unity Party government. She was expressing frustration to her minister that this is a mess. We need to clean it up. And this was maybe what, 2009, 2010, or even earlier. And so, yes, corruption was declared public enemy number one. It was not waged, the battle was not waged to the extent that we would have wanted to see it. But everything we do in life is a matter of context and comparison. Let us come to today and look at the educational system. How are these teachers getting paid? What is the quality? Let's look at the issue of corruption you raised. We are not looking at things in isolation in a vacuum.
So you did
We,
not win the war on corruption, Mr. Dwyer. You did not
the,
win the war on corruption.
the war on corruption is not an event, it is a process. And no, the war on corruption was not won, but I can tell you hard won gains have been eroded under this administration.
And did you clean the mess that are calling to you in your correction? Did you clean that mess?
Again, there was a lot of cleaning, but if you have a lot of dirt, you will not clean all. Maybe you will not succeed in cleaning all. What I'm telling you is there is more dirt in the house today than when we left office. The integrity institutions that we established were functioning. They were doing their job. They were not perfect, but they were doing their job. Those have been broken down and personalized. There is more corruption today without a doubt. So again, I go back to the issue. The Liberian people are going to be looking at a comparison. Do we maintain the CDC government in office on the record of economic development, on the record of road construction, on the record of running the economy, on the record of running the educational system, on the record of the healthcare system, or do we choose an alternative? And what I'm saying to you clearly, without doubt, without equivocation, is that Unity Party did better before and will do even better tomorrow.
Folks in cyberspace, you are watching Focus on Liberia. I'm Anthony here hosting. This is the Hour of Politics. We have as guest chairman of Unity Party USA and Canada, Mr. Dwanyen, and we are in an exclusive interview with him. Our topic is the candidacy of Honorable Joseph Boakai, the Unity Party, the CPP, and STK to 2023. If you are just joining us, welcome to the broadcast. Stay on the Unity Party. One of the things many Liberians, including professionals, have complained about is the huge salaries that you, Unity Party, decided to pay officials in a poor country like Liberia. You did it and you felt in your wisdom it was okay to be paying some people money in the tune like 15,000, 7,000 and more, and you even be accused of supplying brown envelopes to legislators. Are you proud of this record? If this record is true at all.
Well, if the record is true, I'm glad you brought the qualification. The thing I would like you to remember is that the national budget is a product of the legislature. Remember that always. The House of Representatives is the institution of government that is responsible for spending money in the country with the concurrence of the Senate and the legislature and the executive. The leadership, in their wisdom, thought that certain positions needed to attract the highest caliber of talent in the world of compensation. Attracting talent is always tied to the issue of compensation. We can agree, we can disagree on that. But the reality is that the Liberian people took pay on time. The increase in salary was across the board. It was not just at the top. You
You are
recall,
saying they pay on time as though they're not supposed to take pay on time. You want to
well, they're
claim
not
credit.
getting paid on time now. This is the context. This is the comparison. We are
Okay,
comparing to something. We
okay.
are not living in isolation. We are not living on Mars. We have a situation where we have a government now, and the people in 2023 will make a decision: should this government be given 6 more years, or should we go in a new direction? So everything we do should be looked at in that context, and we have to keep it in that context.
So let's come to your party and leave the national issue. Let's come to Unity Party as a political party. I want to know, do you have yearly operational budget? That's my first question. And do you do annual report as a political party to your members? Do you do that?
Absolutely.
Are you sure of this?
I'm saying absolutely.
Can I get a
We
copy?
are you a partisan?
Do I have to be a partisan as a person in the media to share this information with the public that this is a political party that does yearly report? Do I have to?
You have to refer that issue to our chairman, Amin Modad. I am
Wow.
not at liberty to commit to you that the party will give you its internal documents.
The reason I ask the question, Mr. Dwyer, is the way you behave today as an individual. Chances are that for the most part, when you move to another area, you will behave the same way. What we know generally in Liberia is most political parties, they don't do budget. They don't have yearly budget and they don't do report. It is a fact. And I just wanted to be sure whether Unity Party was not in that kind of shoe, but now you're bringing in technicality. I have to get to Muda. You are the chairman of Unity Party, USA and Canada. I am a member of the Democratic Party in the US. Anytime I ask for a copy, they give it to me. They don't tell me go to Joe Biden or go to the party chairman. You want to change your answer, sir?
I'm glad you say you're a member of the Democratic Party in the U.S., so you go there and get your documents from them. Again, we here in the United Party, USA and Canada, provide quarterly reports to our membership, to our leaders, and we continue to remain consistent with that. And the party in Liberia does even monthly reports, and so we are on top of things. And again, if you want to see documentation with regards to our internal documents, I, as chairman, cannot sit here and unilaterally create that policy. And again, if you want to look at the national level in Liberia, I'm not the one to determine that, but I can assure you that we exercise financial discipline, we exercise transparency among ourselves, and we are very, very happy with how the party's finances are being conducted.
If we can agree or disagree, political institutions like yours should be in the business of bringing up leaders that will take over because political parties usually are government in waiting and they should be prepared. And one of the way to prepare the leaders in that particular institution is to provide education. I just want to know, does the United Party, after being in power for 12 years, have anything like a scholarship fund intended for Liberians who are members of the party to prepare them for tomorrow? Do you have anything like that?
We do a lot of things to empower, especially our youth. Our standard bearer has a foundation which is very active in those directions. A political party is not a ministry of education. I've not seen political parties that are actively involved in the direction you're talking about. Our main function, our mission, is to focus on the issues of national concern, to focus on organizing our membership, organizing our thoughts, creating our vision, implementing our vision, and the government of Liberia is the one that controls the resources of the country. They do the taxation. They establish the budget, and we have a vision to lead, and we have a scope of what that vision entails as a political party, particularly one in opposition.
All right. Thank you so very much. Now let's come to the CPP. You are a member. Some people say you are the giant member. Do you agree?
Well, I will not argue with that. If you look at historically, politics is based on numbers. And if you look historically, the numbers as it reflects in voting tallies bears that.
Honorable Boakai made it clear he's running and that he's the only guy. Those are his words. I'm the only guy. And the CPP framework calls for what you refer to in your framework as consensus. So, holding all things constant, should he not, succeed in this consensus to become the candidate, owing to the fact and his strong belief that he's the only guy? Do we see this CPP disintegrating because of the statement?
I don't see that as the case. Sometimes, people will raise issue with him as to this member is uh, doing this, doing that, and he's very clear. All the four political leaders in the CPP have every right to have the ambition. But what I also do know is that they are all committed to seeing a successful ticket. And in so doing, all of the indications are that they respect him, they look up to him, they give him that regards as the person who they see as their moral leader, as a person who the country sees as a moral leader, as a person who is best suited to rally the country around the mission and vision of the CPP to take over the leadership of Liberia.
Talking about the CPP framework, they talk about VPS. Does the Unity Party subscribe to anything called VPS? Does it make sense to you?
Well, we are committed to the framework agreement. We are committed to continuing to develop that. We're committed to continuing to do what we can to strengthen the collaboration. And so rest assured that this process will be done with patriotic views from, hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
It will be done in a patriotic approach. And that in the end, the Liberian people will get the leader they need. And we are 100% confident that that leader is Joseph Nyumah Boakai. He is the best person suited to do this job. And he's the best person fit to lead us to power. And he is the only person that can take down George Weah. Let's be realistic.
And should Honorable Boakai be unsuccessful in becoming the candidate of the CPP, will he support whoever comes on top as the candidate?
We are not here to talk about hypothetical situations that may or may not occur. We are here to speak directly to the Liberian people about the mission and vision uh, of our standard bearer. We're here to speak directly to the vision we have for the country. We're here to defend our work in the past and explain why we feel that we can do better tomorrow.
We see of recent Ambassador Boakai doing something that I call he trying to reinvent himself, playing checkup, playing Ludo, going down to the ordinary folks. I call this political pandering. He's doing it now because he want a job. Do you see it that way?
So are you telling me that this is the first time PP Boakai played checkers? Are you telling me you really believe this is the first time he playing Ludo? Are you telling me this is the first time you've seen him go and talk to the ordinary Liberians? Are you really telling me that? You want the Liberian people to believe that statement?
Mr. Dwanyen, your last campaign, Unity Party, did not go well. Money was a problem. Your team got divided. How can Liberian people count on Joseph Boakai of providing a kind of leadership that will put together a campaign team that will be united, forceful, and structurally effective? Because the one I saw the last time was defective. Can you assure us of anything like that?
I disagree with your premise that has been laid. We had a very effective campaign. We were up against headwinds of an incumbent president, our own partisan, using state machinery to oppose us. We had a population that was weary of 12 years in power. Those are natural things that happen all over the world. In a democracy, when one party is in power for some time, those that feel that they have not achieved their aspirations naturally look for alternatives. So those were all the phenomena that we face. Now they have seen their alternative. The green grass has shown up and they have seen it's not really green. And they want a change. And they see where the change is. They see the error of the 2017 decision and outcome, and they are at the grassroots of making this happen for the former vice president.
Thank you so very much, folks in cyberspace. At this time, you can call if you have a question for the chairman of the Unity Party, USA and Canada. Mr. Dwanyen is here to take your question. I have asked my questions, and I want to give you the opportunity to ask your questions. They were in power. According to him, it was not bread and butter. They did what they could do. But in my assessment, they did not change Liberia. I wanted them to change Liberia because they had significant time. So it's like saying, oh, the rain was falling. You did not feel the drum. Now we have dew falling. And you think you're going to feel it? I'm a tough guy. I call now or forever hold your peace. We are taking a short break and we'll be right back and start calling
Well,
right now
before you
so
go,
you
let
can
me
ask
say
your
when
questions.
we were there, we made the rain to fall. The people there now the responsibility why the dew it has to come down to dew fall.
All right, let's take our short break and we'll be right back. right, folks, we are back with you here. Focus on Liberia on our program, the Hour of Politics. Comfortable seated in studio is the chairman of Unity Party, USA and Canada, Mr. Dwanyen. And as you people might be aware, I'm trying not to pronounce his first name. I don't want to get in trouble here. This is how careful I try to be here. So we have a caller. Let's see if we can bring that caller in quickly. Caller, your name and where you're joining us from. Quickly to the issue.
Yes, Mr. Anthony here. My name is Benjamin Kopani. I'm calling from the great city of Seattle in Washington.
Go ahead.
I want to ask a few things. I will put them all into one pile, and I just hope the chairman address them all. The first thing I want to know is we are living in what we call the information age. This is right now we have something called the Internet of Things. One of the principal way as parties reach members and new members is through having an internet website. The chairman mentioned about the vision platform and everything, but we cannot find the Unity Party website. I want you to emphasize that simply because I need to locate Mr. Walker's platform so I can read them and I can understand it and digest them. But in the absence of the website, we cannot find that. Now, this is something I want to stress here. Your guest was doing everything possible to shield Mr. Mr. Boakai from responsibility in what happened in the last 12 years of the UP-led administration. And one of the things he failed to mention was that the VP is literally the president of the Senate in Liberia. He's the president of the Senate. And during the 12 years of the Unity Party, in that role, we have documented pieces of evidence that tell us that that outfit passed 68 concessions. When those concessions were audited, it was found that 66 out of 68 were illegal. So Mr. Boakai was the president of the Senate. I'm not saying he can vote, but if you are sitting as the president of that body, that institution, and 66 out of 68 deals were declared illegal by international audit, then there's something going on. There's something wrong. Well, let me give my last point. The final thing I want to emphasize, I want to know, I want your chairman to address this, where I can find Mr. Boakai's vision, where I can find his platform. I want to read them. I think when I read them, I will have enough information to kind of, you know, state my stand. But in the absence of that, in the instant, he's saying, build Liberia, grow Liberia, love Liberia. I just think that line is an excuse for lack of policies, for lack
Thank
of
you.
platform.
Thank
Final
you.
thing I want to say is during the last 12 years, Boakai was part of an administration that caused Liberia to be declared by Transparency International as the most corrupt nation in the world. Boakai was the vice president for that government when Liberia was declared as the most corrupt country in the world. Thank you, sir. I will go back to listen.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, so please jot that down. We have two others. Let me bring them in quickly and then you can respond.
Please, I shared with you in the beginning that I have an engagement that I need to break out of here at 2 o'clock. I will give 5 minutes as grace.
All right.
So I'm more than willing to come back.
All right.
I'm open to you always, but for today, this is the reason we ask that this is 1 hour because I have an engagement that I cannot renege upon.
Thank you. So just answer his concerns and question, and then you can take leave.
Yeah, thank you. You can reach us on our website at upusa.org, upusaca.org. Now, with regards to the platform Vice President Boakai, I shared with you earlier that the platform of 2017 was well documented, very, very illustrative. But we are talking now 2023. We are functioning in a different environment. We are functioning with a collaboration. We are in the process of putting that collaboration together in terms of all of the pieces that the public should see, such as platform, documentation, and whatnot. So I will ask you to be patient, to wait for the 2023 platform, because we will not be operating in a 2017 environment, but in a 2023 environment. With regards to his presidency of the Senate and concessions that were passed, I think let us again be objective and clear when we speak of the presidency of the Senate. Let us not make it seem like this is someone who has executive authority over the Senate. Presidency of the Senate is a ceremonial position. It is a title that comes with no powers except the ability to cast a tie-breaking vote. That is it. That is it. Everything else is based on relationship, negotiation, and as you correctly said, the former vice president had no vote cast in any of those concessions you speak of. Those were things promoted by the former president. And let us use the rift between the former president refusing to support her vice president, her loyal lieutenant, who is taking the blame for her decisions. Let us use her inability, her unwillingness to support him as something that is very, very instructive, that there was something going on here where they were not seeing eye to eye. But because of being a mature statesman, because of being in a situation where Liberia came from chaos that initiated from disputes at the height, at the hierarchy of the PRC, people wisely decided, you know what, we will make the most of this situation and work towards a better day. And again, to put everything in context, we are talking about comparison. We are talking about comparison with the current government in relationship to everything we are talking. If we look at it in isolation, we will miss the picture. We are talking comparison. Thank you.
Mr. Dwanyen, thank you so very much for coming to our call here at Focus on Liberia. Let's hope we can do it again. We understand you have another engagement, so we will not hesitate to, have you take a leave. And again, we will reach out to you again to do this. You guys want to be able to rule the country again, and our job is to just ask you questions and see how better you would do. Because again, I maintain that you did not do good enough. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me here. I respect your opinion. I think we did much better than the alternative that is here today, and let us keep that as our focus. Thank you.
The alternative that you gave us through your madam.
No, 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 don't bring that one to me. Go talk to her.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Go talk to her. All right. Take care.
All right. All right, folks, we will still take your calls while we allow the chairman to take leave of us. Further below, chairman, there's a place that leave. Okay, thank you so very much. We will read comments after we finish taking the two calls. We will be here. Management has given me an additional 15 minutes to take your calls and read your comments. So let's see what we have here. We have Edward, phone number ending in 4309. Your name and where you're joining us from. I hope I got that right. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Anthony, for taking my call. My name is Edward Brochus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling from the Bronxwood, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And I was glad to already listen to you today because I haven't been chance to get you because whenever you on, I'm always busy at work.
Okay.
But in regard to the chairman for UP, USA, and Canada, I don't think he gave any specific to why Liberians should vote for Boakai. And it's kind of saddening for me to hear somebody talking this way and you want to leave Liberian. However, my question, even though he is gone, but my question to him is that I wanted to know the significant contribution that the Unity Party did to the Liberian educational system during their 12 years of leadership.
Yep, that's the
Hello?
same. Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead. Go ahead
Yeah, so that's what I really wanted
to ask
to
him.
hear from him,
Mhm.
even though he did not answer none of your question is specific, but because if I can remember clearly, either towards the end of her administration or when she left liberal school, the worst in WIAC high school in I think it was 2017 or 18.
Yeah.
That was just when she was leaving office.
Right.
So I really want to know the impact that they have to our educational system because during our administration, I went abroad twice, and our educational system is worse. It got worse during our administration. So I really want to know.
And Edward, I agree with you. If they have done so much well, I don't think it's going to degenerate and deteriorate, uh, to this level in just barely 3 years. And if you can remember,
Exactly.
this was the Unity Party that even made some effort of trying to even privatize the high schools in Liberia. They brought this school where some Liberian children or students were infested with HIV. That was a decision that was made by the government. The government granted that people
Yes.
the permit to operate. So, he didn't give me anything more. They don't have anything substantive to tell us other than just say Human Boakai is Mr. Clean. But man, thank you, man. We have a lot of callers here.
No problem. No problem. I'll continue listening. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Bye bye. All right. Let's bring in Emmanuel Zaza. Mr. Zaza, you are live. Mr. Zaza, are you there? Mr. Zaza, you are live. Quickly to the issue.
I'm muted. Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm muted.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Sorry, I muted myself and I was talking about myself. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this is what I want to say.
Mm.
You know, Unity Party is a good party, but the politics of Africa that destroy Africa over years.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody comes to power and they stay after one term, they say, my people like me. What are they doing well for the country? They say, my people like me. They will stay on until they die in power. That's the kind of politics Unity Party is playing. Can you imagine Unity Party is blaming CDC for the failure?
Mm-hmm.
So now, do they want us to believe that we should consider their excuses that they are giving that they inherited a broken nation because of the war? I will also believe that CDC indeed inherited a broken economy. Because guess what? You have 68 concessions. If those concessions were still healthy and running, do we have to worry about the economy? Because the money will be flowing in the economy. We don't have any money going in the economy because you have bookers or concessions that the country is not benefiting from. You pay people to sign those concessions, and the country is not benefiting from them. 68. And that is not an embarrassment to you. You still want to blame CDC. CDC, the developer of the CDC is not prepared to take the country. But if the country were prepared for CDC, at least we should have gone 2-3 years in CDC or 10 before we start seeing a failure. Mm-hmm. But because the country was not prepared, imagine the CDC has signed the Iboma loan and the Elton loan that we all criticize. The CDC has signed it, and after CDC came, that loan started to bite the economy. Well, if for instance, economy was the president or maybe or Boakai is the president, will we blame Boakai for that? Somebody answer me the question. The CDC has signed those concessions, those very bad concessions. The CDC has signed them, and they start to hurt the country. When you hold any president at the time responsible, you stop putting yourself back to CDC. You say CDC put us in this mess. So when CDC Unity Party put us in this mess, I believe it because even Unity Party themselves are refusing to accept a wrong that they did. You took a country that you needed 88 million to run, and before you took over the post, they gave you 600 and they gave you 900 and 48 million. You need 88 million. And they gave 948 million to run. And the only thing you did with that 948 million is to increase your salary. You did not talk about building roads. You did not talk about rehabilitating government offices. You didn't do anything in your first term. The only thing you did was to write papers.
Yeah.
So you created how do you call it? Institution. How do you call it? Integrity institutions. We agree.
Yep.
But that does not require that you use all the $1 billion that I was giving you on salary alone. There were no rules. Today, the concessions are no longer around. Although investors say you attracted, we don't see anything in the country. Because you only brought them to work with you for a few times. After you left, you go. So what will happen if CDC would destroy the country now and leave? Should we blame the next government? No. So the other party should not be getting a chance anymore.
Thank you, Mr. Zaza.
If CDC wants to enjoy the support of the ordinary people, they should get away with unity party. But keeping unity party means they are doing the same thing that unity party want to do for us in the 12 years. They shouldn't do that. We don't want unity party around. Let the party go and we'll give the opposition the support, or we'll continue with the broken CDC. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, folks, let me bring in some of your comments and then we will go back to the phone lines here. Let's read some comments from you here. There's one coming from our YouTube channel. That is Jefferson G. Tuba. He is an affiliate here at Focus on Liberia. He writes, you didn't answer the question on corruption. 12 years were more than enough to minimize corruption. Yes, he did not answer the question according to Jefferson. That year from Nathaniel Popo Yema, Honorable Boakai presidency is the rebirth of the failed Unity Party. Honestly think Liberian voters are mature enough to bring back such a calamity on the motherland. That year from Koya James, Samuel Josiah, he's an accomplished to bad governance. If he felt like she was doing wrong, he should have retired. Yep, someone is making the point right there. Again, from Jefferson again, Mr. Tuba Wright, can the Unity Party through JB explain its policy details? And that's why he came here, but he told us roll, roll, roll. Just as Boakai said, roll, roll, roll. This is all they do. They don't explain stuff. All right. Let's hear from Mr. Josiah. My Ellen is afraid of JMB. That's why she is doing everything possible to make sure that he doesn't take the office, because she knows that he will be a better leader in office than her. And he got after her and her family for the money they stole from the country. So she is afraid of JMB abilities to make Liberia better. I don't believe that. I mean, she's afraid of JMB, and then she made JMB vice president for 12 years. Is that how you're afraid of somebody? And you made a person your number two? I don't think so. Well, that's how he sees it. That's the beauty of this thing, Let's hear from Danny S.K. Kakel. My Mr. Panelist, the Unity Party took over a broken economy, but your government received the highest donation from the outside world in the tune of 15 billions, I guess, in foreign direct investment. Liberia should have been made a middle-income country. Boakai was a part of that government. He did not leave until when he noticed that Ellen was supporting Ellen. I think he meant to say Ellen was not supporting him. That's not an excuse, sir. Thank you for that comment. From the man River says Pro, who is always following us here religiously. River says Pro, right? Seriously? Are there no younger political leader within the Unity Party that may have to push that they have to push the old man to the brinks? He's asking a question. The year from Talawanya Jiba. I don't care how you guys present our next president Boakai to the poor tinker. He is the next president. He is making a case. Joseph Boakai got this thing already. From Tupa Kwe, the UP USA chair Kerper couple is a former warlord as head of Nyumah Revolutionary Command. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Somebody is throwing an accusation. Let me get this one from my man, Augustine Tamba, following me from all the way, district number 16, Monserrato County. That is the borough of Ninkrutan. Following religiously from district number 16, Monserrato County, he writes, thank you for always following from mine area there. Let's hear from, I think I saw the comment here. Let's hear from the man Joseph Fayad. You will not live long to see this dream coming true, since you imposing poverty on says Bimba. I don't know what is that about. Let me find some comments here. Let's hear from the man Wetton Ketter. Wetton Ketter is a supporter of the CDC, very critical of the Unity Party. Under the UP government, 250, 2,500 students fail U.S. entrance exam. I think this is true. I think I heard something like that. George K. City. As much as I don't agree with everything your guest said, but he made some important points. Yeah, I think he did make some points. And according to you, they are important. Mr. Jerome Gilman, Boakai really meant to call himself Ro. Wow, Mr. Gilman, I'm not surprised. He is a sedition, so he's on the attack. In politics, they do that. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes just not. Let's hear from the man Jean-Pierre Minican. I don't know how to pronounce the last one. I think it is better to give a old man a good retirement that cares about his children than you give lover boy who believes are around the place like flagpoles. The person is making, a kind of argument that, well, maybe the old man will be better than the young man. We tried the young man. He said things are not going right. Let me bring in this caller who has been waiting patiently. And that caller is the man Eugene. Eugene, quickly to the issue.
Yeah, Mr. Spear, thank you so much for having me on your program. I just want to say something. The United Party people, they are very hard-headed.
Mm-hmm.
All of the United Party people that work in any government, all of them, today they got sugar for Liberia. Today, you ask any of them, they got the best for Liberia. Are they telling us that Eddie was the Buku man in our government? Only Eddie was the bad person in our government. Now that Eddie gone, they got the best. Because every time you put a United Party people that activity this way, that way, they will never accept. They're not even accepting that they were part of a government that have not even gone 4 years. Yet they just left power. They are behaving just like Liberia coming expire. When something coming expire, that means it will never exist anymore. Why they can't sit down?
Because power sweet.
People, yeah?
They can't sit down because power sweet.
Yeah, but power sweet. The thing about the power being sweet, they didn't agree to all of the things that the people are holding them responsible for. The kind of renewable, then the king, they disappear right there. The agricultural program king disappear right there in the face of brother who is an agriculturist. And everybody said that you're not area. If brother was conscious enough that was not area there, he will not. Even if brother was a pastor, why he did not talk? Why he did not protest? So that we can know that yes, he was the best man. But today, all the United Party people, they got the best for Liberia. I mean, I'm tired, man. Why they can't even admit? These people are very high here. You need to ask them whether Ellie was the only bad man in Liberia.
The only bad person you met, right?
Yeah, Ellie was the only bad person in the United Party government for the 2 years.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We will read some more comments here. We will read some more comments here. I saw the comment here from Emmanuel. Didn't the Unity Party succeed? Did the Unity Party succeed in her 12 years leadership? Asking a question here. What was the credit score you led for your successor? That credit score was not good, I want to believe. Yeah, from Mr. Toba, yeah, we are not living in the Toma and Toba era, but what differently can we know besides policy slogan, think Liberia? Yep. Jefferson is making the point yet all we hear from these politicians, all of them, just slogan, think Liberia, love Liberia, build Liberia, and that's all we hear. That's the point he's making from what I'm understanding. Folks in cyberspace, I brought you another exciting edition. This is actually having to be a special edition of the Hour of Politics. Let me share something with you to conclude here. Let me share something with you here in my conclusion. Let me share something with you so we can conclude this broadcast. Jose Boakai is running to be president, and we heard him say, think Liberia, build Liberia, and love Liberia. And so, talking about think Liberia, build Liberia, and love Liberia, the final budget of the VP, even though he said he was making $5,000 for the first 6 years, I don't know why he chose not to tell us how much he was making for the 12 years. Why he decided to tell half truth. But let me remind you, his basic salary in 2016-2017 budget was $109,000. His special allowance was $215,000. His general allowance was $500,000, $524,000, and the list goes on and on. So if this was the way he could love Liberia, then I don't understand the love. But folks in cyberspace, this is how we'll come to the end of this broadcast. We want to say thank you so very much for coming to this another edition of the Hour of Politics here. Let me share with you the shows that are coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow on the Hour of Politics, we will be having the Secretary General of the opposition ANC. ANC Secretary General Councillor Aloysius Stowe will be my guest right here on the Hour of Politics. We will be talking about Mr. Alexander Cummings, the ANC and the CPP and the road to 2023. The chairman, the Secretary General of the ANC, Mr. Aloysius Stowe, will be my guest. He and myself got something in common. We are from Grand Crew. But that does not matter to me because I'm going to poach him. He has to tell me how the ANC going to navigate through these political mountains to get to the mountaintop. He must tell me. On Thursday, there's a program here I focus on Liberia called Tough Talking Thursday. On this day, we tough talk politically. The topic, Alexander Cummings versus Jose Boakai. The intellectual heavyweights who will be discussing Wilmon Wetting Cooling. He's the chief political analyst of Focus on Liberia. Mr. Josiah F. Jokai Jr. He is Focus on Liberia democracy analyst. We'll have Mr. Prince Williams will be here. He's a community leader. I think he's somehow affiliated with the ANC. And then we will have Mr. George Kanantule, who is the co-host of our program On Point. He is also a political commentator. You do not want to miss this program called Tough Talking Thursday. Also, coming here on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, a retrospective analysis of sports in Liberia. Former Youth and Sport Minister, Honorable Mambu Riches, will be here sitting down with the well-rounded Dennis Jah. Also, Mr. Benedict Nyakun Wise, the original number 14 of Liberia, the man who used to do his thing to wow the crowd. And along with him will be Mr. Charles Wadsworth. He will also be here. I believe Mr. Waffle is a basketballer, I understand. They will be talking football. They will be talking basketball. They will be talking tennis. They will be talking boxing, kickball, and track and field. It's all sports in retrospect. The good old days. We will be retrospecting here, and you do not want to miss it. Again, folks, Focus on Liberia is the only platform where you get these diversities of program. No one does it better than we do. On that note, I'll bring you that song that unites us here as one people. And that song says, we are all Liberians. Until I catch you again, I am your troublemaker, Anthony C. Bye-bye, folks.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Either you hate it or we want. Liberia, oh. Either you hate it or we want. Liberia, be Liberia.